Hey there Facebook, it's Vanessa here on a mission to help those who want more out of life step up, own who they really are, own what they really want, and have the courage and the confidence to go after it. And today is a special message, and it's all about that love exists only between equals. And I think this is a really great point. You guys might have heard, I'm reading that book, Lovability by Robert Holden, and oh my gosh, on every single page, there's just like this truth bomb, and it really allows me to, really get these aha moments. That's why I'm really excited about sharing these little messages with you, because, it's so true that, we're actually not in love when we're putting somebody on a pedestal or we're putting them in a pit. If you're in a relationship and you don't feel equal and you feel like one of you is better than the other or more lovable than the other, then that's actually not love. Love, and no one person is more inferior than any other. We are all equals, but we don't often recognize that. And thanks so much everybody joining. Natasha, awesome to have you here. More than likely in the personal development realm, and we've got these awesome mentors. Are you guys there? Oh, so sorry, the internet just cut out on me. So what I was saying is, if you guys are in the personal development industry, which I'm assuming that you are because you're listening to me talk about self-development, we've all got these incredible mentors out there who we aspire to be like. We love what they're doing, how they speak, how they motivate and inspire us. We idolize them, and that is the very thing that keeps us from truly loving them and truly loving ourselves, because it's when we lack that sense of self-love that truthfully, it's that puts people on those pedestals, puts ourselves in a pit, and therefore we kind of block our ability to actually have and create loving relationships in our lives. And so good to have you, Shang. Thank you for joining. I wondered if you guys had any questions about love today. It can be a really wishy-washy, all over the shop sort of spiritual talk almost, but bring it back, whatever you think. If you've got some challenges in relationship, if you've got challenges with that relationship with self, because ultimately that's where, that is our foundation to creating an extraordinary quality of relationship, no matter whether that's with your intimate partner, with your friendships, with your family. If you don't have a rock solid relationship with yourself and know your worth and know that you're just as lovable as every other single person who's walked the face of the earth, then you're gonna miss out, So the key is, so many of us, we think about the challenge that we've got in that relationship and we put it on the other person. Like the amount of times, clients have come to me and asked, well, how do I get them to change? It's kind of laughable, because we've all been there, we've all thought if they would just change, if they would just be different, then we could be happy. But at the end of the day, it's because we're not happy within ourselves. And that person right in front of us is that mirror, and it's easy to project all of our own stuff into the external environment rather than taking responsibility and ownership and working on ourselves. So awesome, Kirsten, awesome to have you here. And Kumbi and Janice, thank you so much guys for joining. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys. Have you struggled with that relationship with self? Is this an area that you know that you need to work on, and it's going to solve seriously all of your relationship issues, because they all stem from how much you have that love for yourself, that respect for yourself, that value of yourself in equal alignment with every other person. So I would love to hear from you guys if you've got any comments. That's what I'm here for. Any questions? And yeah, I've just really appreciated, you know, having you guys on here, and like always, it's just so much fun for me. So yeah, I guess that's it then, because nobody's chatting with me today, but it's been so awesome to actually see you guys jump on. And I hope that this message about, you know, that love only exists between equals really gets you thinking. It gives you a little bit of an aha about, hey, where in my life am I putting myself on a pedestal, or myself in the pit, or vice versa with somebody else. Thank you so much, Natasha. I love having you on here listening. It makes my day. And Rebecca Knight, how do I love myself? Great question. And you know, we're always trying to figure out that answer. Well, I'll tell you my truth. My truth on this one is that you cannot love yourself unless you really know who you are. And you cannot love yourself if you're not operating in alignment with who you really are. So the path to self-love, truthfully, comes from doing the work. It takes time. We're constantly evolving. Each and every one of us is always changing. We're always making new discoveries about who we are. And that is a commitment that you need to make to yourself, to constantly be checking in with yourself. Who am I really? You know, behind all the masks, behind all the expectations, behind all the shoulds of society or friends or family or whoever, ourselves as well. You know, besides all that, who is the real me? Who is my higher self? Who am I really proud of being? And once you start getting clear on that, you know, I'm always harping about understanding what your values are, really getting clear on what they are, and that gives you an opportunity to start living in alignment and creating a life where you do actually love who you are. You know, it's such a good transformation when you get to that point and you recognize, you know, I am proud of who I am. I love who I am. I know I'm a good person. I know I do the right things. I know I'm proud of myself for living in alignment and having the courage to do so, because it is a courageous act. And so good to have you on, Kevin. Thank you so much. It's so kind of you. And Shane, awesome to have you on again. I love this. And Robert, what are you asking me? And hi, Gerardo. Okay, Robert, what happens when being true to yourself adds tension to your relationship with your wife or husband? Phenomenal question. Now, truth is, the greatest gift you can ever give to another person who you are in relationship with is the gift of you showing them that you love and value yourself. Never, ever, ever let your fears around how they're going to be threatened or thrown off, or however they respond, their own fears, to you actually stepping into and owning yourself and your self-love. Never ever dull yourself down to that. I have done that in many relationships, and it's taken me a while to learn that lesson, but I promise you, you're not helping them. You're definitely not helping yourself. And hey, if my true belief is that we want to be in relationship ultimately because that person can help and encourage and support the best of ourselves. And if they in any way limit us, or we're limiting them, that's not a healthy dynamic. So, you know, a relationship is a place that you go to give, you go to support, you go to challenge each other to grow, evolve, you know, be your best. And if that ends up being not that kind of environment, well, I'm a big believer in, you know, you got to either step up or you got to step out. And it's one or the other. So thank you. I hope that was helpful to you. And Drado, hello again from Mexico. Awesome. I love seeing everybody from around the world. And Shane, yes, I love having you here. Rebecca, awesome. I'm glad that was helpful. And yeah, Natasha, I've done that, but it has come through as me being defensive. Yep, and you know what? It will, because, and probably in that moment, you might have been a bit defensive, because when we want to step into our own, we're still in fear, and somebody on the outside, we're seeing how they're getting defensive about it, or it's triggering their fears. we become on that defensive zone, and ultimately you've got to push past that. Yes, you may be defensive, but at the end of the day, you know, what kind of relationship are we trying to create here? You know, we've got to do our own work. We can't rely on other people to, you know, be that person who makes us feel lovable. It has to start from within, because otherwise, doesn't matter what they say, do, everything, if we're not happy within ourselves, we can't even hear it. We don't take it on, we don't trust it, we don't believe it. Yen, awesome to have you. Francesca, lovely to see you here from Thailand, Yen. I love that. And thank you, Robert. I'm really glad that that was helpful for you. And yeah, I hope, hey Judy, nice to have you. And yeah, I really love talking into this area. If you guys have any more comments, questions, hit me with your relationship stuff. I'm glad that that was helpful for you, Natasha. I really love having you on here. I haven't seen you in years, and yeah, it warms my heart that you're rocking up to my Facebook Live. So thank you for that. And yeah, so what else? Guys, do you have any other little questions for me? Hit me up right now, because that's what I'm here for. But yeah, this is a topic that, you know, I think that if more of us focused on this element of stepping into love, understanding that at the end of the day, we always have a choice in every single moment. We can either choose love or we can choose fear. There's only two options if you simplify every single thing in your life. And I challenge you guys to walk around with this idea today and think about, you know, when you're about to make a decision, how you're going to interact with somebody, whatever you're going to do today, how you maybe look at yourself in the mirror and what comments come up for you. Everything is either coming from love or from fear. And yeah, I challenge you to think about that. That's a really great way to sort of conceptualize what we're talking about and see, bring some consciousness to how you're operating in terms of, you know, are you operating mostly from fear, which ultimately is going to take you further and further away from the results that you want in your life, in your relationships, in your health, everywhere? Or are you operating mostly from love, and you're looking to step that game up a little bit? And that takes consciousness, because we are human beings and we are going to fall into those fearful patterns. But the more work we do on ourselves to identify who we really are, what we really want, and build that confidence, that self-belief, and that courage to go on after it, you know, that relationship with self is going to get so much better. And Maritesh, thank you for joining. And yeah, thanks Shane. I'm glad that that was valuable. And oh, awesome, Francesca, you're going to give it a go. Give the love fear test a go. And yeah, it's something that has really stuck with me through reading this book from Robert Holden, Lovability. I'm reading it the second time. I read it for the first time about 3 years ago, and it's just such a great book. And also A Course in Miracles. That's what the book is actually based off, which is about a 700-page crazy book, and to take some commitment to get through. So I also love that there's so many spin-offs for this to really give us all, you know, all of those amazing little ideas and concepts and ahas about what really matters in life. And yeah, anybody else have any questions or want to raise anything? I'm here. Glad to see you enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much, Mahinda. I appreciate you being on here live with me, and I appreciate your kind words. And yeah, it's and George, awesome to have you here. Glad you have liked this message. And yeah, so I also want to challenge you guys to think about who in your life are you putting on a pedestal. And, you know, who is that person that you think, oh, you know, maybe you have a little bit of jealousy around, or maybe you just think, oh, I wish I was like them, or, you know, oh, they're so much better than me, or whatever it comes up for you. Who is that person, or who are those people in your life that you are putting on that pedestal? I challenge you to do this exercise and identify who those people are, who you have those feelings that they're better than you, they're more lovable than you, they're just in many different ways, whatever it is in your language, how they are better than you. Identify what those traits are that you're really idolizing in that person. And then the third step is to actually see how you have that same trait to the exact same extent within you. And it is a challenging exercise. It's one that I got from Dr. John Demartini, one of my favorite mentors, absolutely. And yeah, I actually got to meet him and interview him about 2 months ago now. And what a phenomenal human being. If you don't know who he is, where have you been? You've got to go search him, Dr. John Demartini. And yeah, I love how he talks about this idea of, you know, not putting a person on a pedestal, not putting a person in a pit, and therefore, you know, making sure that we see how we are all equals. And do the same with the people that you put in a pit. You know, are there people that maybe you work with, maybe are a family member, a friend, your partner, whoever it is in your life, who are you putting in a pit in terms of who do you think you're better than? Where are you having those thoughts? And I guarantee you, whether or not you're putting somebody on a pedestal or in the pit, you know, those two things are what are limiting you from having a truly loving relationship with yourself, and ultimately having that love with in your relationships external from yourself as well. So I really, hey Andrew Nelson, yeah, awesome to have you here. And I really hope that this message has been valuable to you guys. Maritesh, how to develop personality development like body language, communication, decision making. Well, okay, so because we're talking about into that relationship with self, I really do believe that the foundation to developing all of those different add-ons that make us awesome, you know, it starts with identifying and building that consciousness around who you are, what you want, that courage around going after it and no longer holding yourself back, surrounding yourself with great connections, you know, people who inspire you, lift you up, are proud of you, want to encourage the best from you. And we don't always have those people in our lives. They might need to be, you know, on a Facebook Live or on a podcast or in a book. You know, we're lucky enough to have all of these great people who can inspire our best. You know, that's that connection piece. And then lastly, you know, I really do believe that on whatever level, small, medium, large, whatever, you know, we all need to have a sense of contribution in order to live a truly fulfilling life. We all need to know that our lives matter. And I really believe that, you know, whether that's with your family, with your friends, with your community, with the world, I don't care. You know, we all need to know and have that sense, hey, I make a difference, I make an impact. And if you are somebody out there who doesn't really feel like currently your life really matters, or you just feel insignificant, my challenge to you is to, for 1 week, do one act of a random act of kindness each and every day. Now that might be send a text message to a friend and let them know you care about them. It might be that you go in the coffee shop and you buy a coffee and you pay for the guy behind you. Or it might just shoot an email to somebody in your life who made a difference at some point. Or, you know, whatever it is, just create something that is giving to others, and I guarantee you that's going to help you feel that sense of contribution, make you feel so good about yourself and who you are, and start building that relationship with self. You know, so could I send link to personality development website? Yes, Maritesh, I will. I'll link up in terms of what happens with the personality development. Yeah, so personality psychology that I do is one part of what I do, and I'll definitely link it up. I won't talk into it right now unless you guys want me to, maybe for another call. But yeah, and Maritesh, just to come back to that question again, once you start owning what I call the 4 C's of empowerment, that, you know, that consciousness, that courage, that connection and the contribution, that's when you really start stepping into trusting and believing in yourself. And ultimately, that's how you make your best decisions. We struggle making decisions because we don't trust ourselves. And yeah, so you need to know who you are in order to love who you are and trust who you are. So thank you. I'm glad that was helpful, Maritesh. And yes, this has been awesome. And I mean, I could talk all day long. And if you guys were hitting me with questions or comments, I probably would until my battery died. But if you've got anything else, I'd love to hit it up now. Otherwise, yes, need direction from family and friends to feel worthy. Okay, let me figure out what you mean there, Shane. Need direction from family and friends to feel worthy. Okay, so this is a good one if I'm reading this right, Shane. So worthiness, we often look to the external world to gain that validation. We all do it. We're all human. And I believe that external validation can be a really great thing. You know, just in terms of even what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks, just hitting these live videos, like I've been getting some great feedback, which is just so motivating and encouraging, and I absolutely am so grateful for it. But if I was to just rely on that external validation of my worthiness and in terms of family and friends, you know, relying on them to make you feel worthy, unfortunately, you know, you're never going to feel that fulfillment. If you're always looking for something in the external to fill you up and validate you so that you can feel worthy, you're constantly chasing that validation and you never really feel it. You know, one hit's just not good enough. You're always going for the next. So yeah, that value piece, that worthiness piece, again, it really does start from within. And I know it sounds corny and wishy-washy, but it is definitely the truth. And you often don't really get it until you get it. You know, you really don't get it until you start to experience it. So thank you for that comment, Shane. I appreciate that, and awesome to have you here, Eric. Hi there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it from me. Again, any questions, like I keep saying, but it's been such a pleasure to chat with you guys and have you on here live. I mean, I used to record videos all the time, and they're just so boring compared to hitting and being live straight away with you guys. I love the interaction. I love, you know, getting to, you know, interact in real time. I absolutely love that. So thank you everybody who's joined me today and made this possible. I appreciate you all so much. And if you haven't already, you know, come and join me and jump on a 15-minute power session with me where I want to help you break through your #1 biggest challenge that you're currently struggling with and give you a fresh perspective so that I can help you make that breakthrough and start, you know, building that great relationship with yourself so you know who you are and you know who you want, what you want, maybe who you want as well, and you have that courage and that confidence to go after it. So yes, thank you so much, Shane. A pleasure as always. And thanks for all the love hearts. I appreciate that. And I will see you guys tomorrow.